like you lost another one.
What's up, guys? Keyshawn Uchiha here, back at you with another alternate universe What If. And this is going to be part 4 of What If Deku was a succubus. Or should I say male succubus, if you want to get talking. Now, I was reading the comics before I start this video. I was checking out my things and I was looking at the what ifs and stuff. And I have been also seeing some spicy stuff. So, this is going to be a spicy one, part 4. 18 only. Got to give out the wording. And I'm giving out a new update. So I might go and put a hold on this series, on the 18 only series, because I want to work on the other series that, doesn't have sex and stuff. But probably not. All depends on my situation. But I'm gonna make another video after this. Probably not. Depends on the situation. But yeah, let's just continue this. Let's just hop on the story. And sorry if you hear anything in the background. My goddamn sister's being loud. They don't know how to control their talking. But yeah, part 4. Let's get this started. So where we last left off, pretty much Deku pretty much making out with Bakugo, having that I'm sorry situation, and also getting captured by All For One and pretty much having sex, you could say, and nutting in the vagina that got her pregnant, and pretty much escaping that situation, heading to the thing, which we all know the whole hero versus villain arc, know how that happened. Pretty much how I'm talking about right now, but yeah, pretty much yeah. And also All For One, female All For One, I should say, pretty much knocking at the door and pretty much looking for Deku, saying that, referring about the child, and pretty much Inko finding out that Deku is the father. Now, let's continue the story. Now, Deku's pretty much going downstairs, all confused, saying what's going on, running downstairs, pretty much asking what's going on, until he says, shit. Until Inko says, what the hell is this? How did you have a child and not tell me about it? Which, she pretty much tells, All For One to come in and says, Miss, please come in and come have a seat. Now, she's smiling, going to have her seat, pretty much sitting down, and Inko's pretty much offering her some tea, which she does. And she's pretty much sitting while Deku is pretty much getting scolded by her mom, by his mom, and she's pretty much saying, how can you have a child? And what I told you about, like, wearing protection stuff, and he says, you see, I don't have condoms on me all the time, and stuff happens, mom, and plus I got captured. She's the one who captured me, and, Inko's saying, what? She captured you? I don't believe, she's not believing this stuff. Which, this is where you get it, All Might comes in, and she pretty much, knocks on the door, and, as you guessed it, she's pregnant, saying, I came here to see my husband about a child, and this is where Inko runs up to Deku and pretty much knocks him on the head, saying, you got 2 women pregnant? Which Deku says, my fault, that's my fault. Basically just apologizing and laughing. This is where, All Might and All For One meet each other, but this is a different scenario because All For One wears a mask to cover up her face, to cover up her disguise, which All Might sees her all the time with only a mask. So they don't know that, they're rivals or enemies. you could say. So she's saying, "Oh, who's this?" And she says, "Yeah, Deku, who's this for? Why is the number one hero here?" Which Deku says, "You see," and he just says, "This stuff happens," which he can't confront. Which all my which I can say Deku can control emotions and stuff, and also like jibber jabber, bamboozle them emotions. So they're not mad at him, but they're disappointed. But they still love him. So they're basically saying, all for one pretty much goes up to Deku, pretty much huggies him, saying, well, pretty much holding his hand and saying, well, are you going to are you going to introduce me to the other one then? Which Deku says, asks, well, and she pretty much says, we're gonna say all for one has a name, and we're just gonna call her Rachel, and she pretty much just says her name is Rachel, and this is her pretty much her man and husband, which Deku is pretty much trying to say something, say well, and off one said, well, you could say All Might comes in and pretty much says, no, he's my husband, and he pretty much says, ladies, please stop. I will marry both of y'all, okay? Which they both just, get the hard eyes and say, you really will? In which Deku says, yes, I will marry both of y'all. This is where this says, so you're going to take responsibility for getting them both pregnant? Which Deku says, yes, I take full responsibility of this. Which Inko is like proud, but also like still mad. But she says, okay. Which she says, well, everybody come eat. I already cooked some dinner and stuff. And everybody have their seat, and everybody has a seat and eat. Now, the next day, come in. Deku pretty much wakes up from his bed. And we're going to say he has a big bed. Like a king-size bed. Because Deku... We're going to say Deku may or may not knocked up a rich woman. A rich woman, or you could say. And pretty much, is pretty much her pimp, you could say. And he pretty much wakes up by the side of the bed of pretty much All Might All for One beside him. Pretty much lay beside him. And he pretty much gets up, doesn't want to wake him up, and just kisses both of them on the forehead and pretty much heads off to school. Now, we're going to start with the whole villains attack thing, you could say. I don't know the name of it. You can crucify me in the comments, guys. But pretty much, before Deku, pretty much, heads on the bus, with everybody else. This is where Midnight and Mid Lady, pretty much grabs Deku to have a more conversation to ask like about the attack and stuff, and this is where the threesome happens. Now, if you're not 18, get out my kitchen because I'm about to get real spicy. Yeah, boy. All right, so this is about to get spicy in 3, 2, 1. Since they accidentally touched Deku, forgot to tell them not to touch him, which since they touched him, they get the full effect, and they pretty much drag him up to the wall. Midnight pretty much ripping Deku clothes ripping Deku clothes off. Pretty much, ripping his clothes off. Pretty much kissing him on the side of his neck. Which Mid Lady, well, you could say lady, pretty much you could say biting his ear, and also biting his nipple, making it sensitive for him to do a moan, which it's just get their ammoniness real like a more higher, you could say higher than the roof, and they're pretty much all wet at the bottom, and they pretty much take off their clothes, and you could say they had a threesome, you could say. Well, no, they actually had a threesome. And Deku pretty much, had to get some new clothes. Well, he created some new clothes and put them on, which Midnight and Midlady is pretty much Midlady pretty much is on the pretty much we're gonna say they're pretty much in the office room, knocked out with a bunch of, you could say, cum on them, and Deku pretty much just put covers on them and just head to the bus thing. Now, if you're asking, are they pregnant? I don't know. Y'all decide. Psych, I'm joking. They're pregnant, but pretty much Deku hop on the bus and all the girls are pretty much trying to ask like when the wedding is going to happen and who's invited and stuff. And Deku's not answering them, pretty much telling them that he's trying to do his work and stuff. Which Bakugo pretty much comes in, giving him a noogie and saying like, "You nerd, you always be into your research." And he says that I always do. Now, this is where they head to the thing, and they're pretty much looking at the building. They're all excited, including Deku. And they go in, and they're pretty much see the superhero. I forgot the superhero name, but or the hero name. And this is where the attack happens, and everybody gets separated. Deku is the only one who dodged the portal thing, and everybody else get caught up. Actually, no, he doesn't. He get caught up with the portal, and he ends up with Froggy Girl. I'm just gonna call her Froggy Girl. Froggy Girl and Mineta, I believe so. And he actually falls on Froggy Girl, and he touches her boobs. This is where she feels the full effect of the thing, and she starts getting wet at the bottom, and she yells out. She pretty much says, "Deku, you have your things on my." And he says, "Oh, sorry." This is where she pretty much getting the blush and the hard eyes, and she's pretty much about to hop on top of him until Deku says, "Well, we got company," and she says, "Oh," and she's pretty much holding her middle of her pants, but this is where Deku says, "I got an idea," and he pretty much grabs both of them, and he grabs Froggy Girl and puts her on the back, so and he holds her while he grabs Mineta by the side, and he pretty much launch up, and he does a big to short smash with let's say electricity. He combined it without knowing, and he pretty much shocked the water / tornado, make it a tsunami, you could say, which the villains get caught by getting electrocuted at the same time. And he lands on the ground, pretty much telling them to go help out the rest, which they agree and go help out the rest. This is where Deku goes to help out Razorhead, which Razorhead, you guessed it, pretty much getting whooped. After he whooped a couple of villains, but he's pretty much down on the ground with the Nomu pretty much holding him down. This is where shit, I forgot his name, but hold on. Alright, sorry. Had to find his name. But Tomari, pretty much, if I said his name right or wrong, say in a comment if I said it wrong. But pretty much he's have one of the other students, we're gonna say female Bakugo. She's pretty much down because she got cocky and is trying to like fight him. But she pretty much is captured, and he's right now slowly disturbing her skin, and she's screaming in pain, which Razorhead can't do anything. He's just down, slowly dying. This is where Deku sees everything and he freaks out. He lets out a bloody bloodlust, which Tomori is like saying, "Oh, it's you again." And he feels the moment he looks at Deku, he feels fear, and he starts screaming, and his eyes is bleeding out. And he says, "What did you do to me?" Which Deku just appears in front of him and just punch him right in his chest, just bodies him, shatter his whole rib cage, sending him flying to the wall. Which Miss is right now trying to say what the hell's what the they try to help out, trying to get Tomori out, which Tomori is saying, "Kill him." which the Nomu is about trying to catch Deku, which Deku pulls out a scythe randomly and slices the Nomu in 1,000 pieces, leaving the Nomu down to the ground, pretty much killing Nomu. And he pretty much but before the Nomu gets sliced in pieces, he pretty much taps the Nomu and it turns into like shreds. But he gets like the shock absorbs it, and the normal blood just start fading out and all that. And Deku have some of the blood on it. He pretty much throws it at the. You could say throw it at Tommy, and it hits his face, or it pretty much hits his mask. And he's pretty much coughing up blood, trying to get up from like that whole punch in his chest. A punch that shattered his own bone, and he's pretty much trying to get up. And this is where Deku pretty much walk up to Bakugo, hails her, saying, "Are you okay?" And she says, "Yeah." And he walks up to Razorhead, pretty much heals him and asks if he's alright, and he says, "Yeah." This is where the mist comes in, and he pretty much grabs Tomori, and he pretty much teleports out of there. And this is where we're gonna say female All Might comes in, and she pretty much says, "I am here," and she sees that Deku is pretty much a little bit bruised, but she runs up and hugs him and asks if he's alright. And he says, "Yeah, I'm alright, but just check up if the other students is alright." And she said, "Alright," and she started going to go check up on everybody else. We switch over to Tomori, and he's pretty much down on the ground, coughing up a little bit more blood, and this is where Off One walks in and bitch slapping him and asks, what the hell did you just do? And he's pretty much saying, we was trying to attack the thing to pretty much kill All Might, which she pretty much gets mad and saying, you should have attacked when he wasn't there. And he says, "Who? My husband." And he's pretty much saying, "Who is your husband?" And she's pretty much saying Deku, and this is when he remembers remember who she was talking about, and he pretty much shits his pants and pees himself because he just remembered the whole body shot and the whole seeing the red eyes and the whole horns and the scythe and everything. So we switch right to Deku, and Deku's pretty much they're pretty much heading home, and they get about about 1 week of a vacation, so they can investigate what the hell just happened and stuff. And Deku's pretty much at home, in his room, trying to figure out what the hell that power he just used, and why was it so dark and effects and so powerful. And he pretty much is studying, and this is where two other women comes in, and it's Midnight and Mid Lady, and they pretty much come in and they pretty much talk about, and we're gonna say this is the last week of the thing, and they pretty much and Inko calls in and says, "Oh, Mizuku, come down," and he says, "Yes, Mom." And this is where she asks, "Can you explain to me why these two women claiming to be pregnant by you?" And he says, And this is going to be part 4 of What If Deku Was a Male Succubus. Sorry if it was short. My bad. But I'm trying to get things done here, and I have a lot to schedule to do. So sorry about it. Leave a like if you like it. Put comments down below. Join my Discord so you can put down your what ifs, and also talk to me and ask of what you want more on the videos so I can understand you and get more shit done. Sorry about that, but I'm just saying what I gotta say. But I'm Keishan Ochia. Thanks for watching, and peace out. What's up, guys? Keyshawn Ochia here, back at you with another new goddamn Ultimate Universe video. And this is going to be, well, a 400 subscriber special. Thanks to y'all guys. Now, I'm very excited because I can't believe we actually did it. Up to 400 subscribers. Now, I want to make an announcement. This is going to be the 400 subscriber special, but kind of one trick pony, you could say. If we get it up to 20 likes, I will make a video sometime later of this one. But if 300 likes, not 300, pretty much 20 likes, next video, probably later or something. 30 likes, pretty much tomorrow of this video. But this is going to be, what if Deku was the devil? Now, this is pretty much is going to be, like I said, one trick pony, and this is going to be the 400 subscriber special. But also, this is going to be something different. It's going to be an 18 only, but this is going to be a little bit of the dark universe, of the dark Ultimate universes. Now, I wanted to work on dark Ultimate universe for a while now, but I didn't know what to do. But this is going to be the first one, and let's see how this story goes. Now, if I talk a little edgy, it's going to be an edgy one. And it's going to be 18 only. It's going to be sex, gore, blood, and a lot of pretty much craziness. And probably mutilation if you have a dark mind like me. Now let's get this started. This is What If Deku Was the Devil, Part 1. We start off with Inko's game. Her pretty much making love. And this was pretty much Lucifer. Now this Lucifer was making a child, and this child will be, you could say, the Antichrist. Now, as this child was supposed to be made, an accident happened, and we're gonna say Lucifer was in, we could say, trying to make a holy war too, you could say, and he was pretty bloody and injured. Now, Inko got in the accident, and the baby was dying. Lucifer realized that his child was dying. He had two options: let himself healed up and pretty much continue to fight and rule over heaven, or save his son and hope for his son to become the new, you could say, Antichrist, or should I say the new devil that can destroy heaven and rule heaven and hell together. And he kind of made his bets and choices, and he saved Inko and the baby. Now, he gave all his power to Deku. He pretty much gave him everything, down to the people confessing what they want, their sins, and all that, and what they really desire. And Deku can pretty much make it happy for the cross of their souls. And their souls belong to Deku. And Deku will get stronger every time someone, want what they want. Now, Inko pretty much sees Lucifer, and she asks, "Honey, what are you doing?" Which he says, "I'm doing what I have to do. Tell my son that I hope he become a strong devil one day," and pretty much fades away. Now, Inko is confused of what he meant by that, but she says, but she pretty much just, passes out and wakes up in the hospital with the baby pretty much born. Now, Deku will be born with horns. Not any kind of horns. You could say a unique horns. And these will be, you could say, the Nephilim horns that you could say of out of Lucifer wings. And he will have a halo. But it doesn't show, yet, you could say. Now, Deku will be born also with a tail. You could say of this tail right now. And have those little down scores. But he gets them later. Now, Deku was born into the world, and he's much different than anyone else. Truly different than everybody else. He's much smarter, wiser, and he just doesn't like, you could say, don't like to talk to anyone or be with anyone. Now, he's usually quiet to himself until he met, you say, Bakugo. Now, Bakugo, he's pretty much friendly with Deku, and Deku pretty much smiles and be friendly with him back, and they be doing counters and stuff. We're gonna say one time Deku and his class, when they was kids, when they're kids at this time, is pretty much going on a field trip. And we're gonna say a couple of villains comes out of nowhere and trying to, capture kids and trying to sell them for sex trafficking. Yeah, we're gonna say it was some sick ones. Now, as the villains pretty much, we're gonna say kill one of the teachers and the other teacher pretty much getting pushed down on the ground. This is going to be a kind of 18 sad and kind of say dark part right here. And if you're not ready, and if you've been traumatized or been hurt in any way, what I'm about to say, please just skip on ahead because this is going to be a little bit a part of the plot. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Deku witnessed, and all the other kids witnessed the teacher get her clothes ripped apart and pretty much raped. Now, she's pretty much screaming, telling the kids to run and don't look, while she pretty much get punched and knocked out, while the guys are pretty much about to say, y'all kids are next. This is where Bakugo says, get away from me, and starts a little explosion. But this is where Deku says, no, and does a scream. He forms the scars, you could say down, and his eyes turn much darker and greener. This is where he snaps one of them in the neck without him knowing it. The guy who's on top of the teacher, he pretty much makes the guy eye bleed. You could say of Indiana Jones. One guy's face starts to melt. The other guy next pretty much snaps and falls off. And the last guy, he's trying to run, but he pretty much just mutilates himself and start going mad and say make it stop and blows up. Now, all the kids are wondering what the hell just happened and start crying. But except for one person, and it was Bakugo. Bakugo is pretty much frightened and falls and pretty much pissing himself at Deku. And Deku pretty much asks, is he alright? And trying to hold on or trying to pick up Bakugo, which Bakugo says, get the hell away from me, you demon, you devil, and runs away. Till the other group start crying. Deku doesn't know why he called him that, but he doesn't mind. He doesn't even care. He goes up to the teacher who pretty much got violated and asks, is she okay? She's pretty much crying and saying, don't look, I'm hurt, and pretty much just saying a bunch of words. This is where Deku pretty much touches her head and calms herself and makes her forget about ever getting violated. And pretty much her passes out half naked, or you could say naked. This is where the police officers come and pretty much go and try to grab the kids and bring them to their parents and stuff. This is where Inko comes in and see pretty much. Sorry about that, but let's continue on. Pretty much sees Deku, and Deku, he is not crying or anything. He's pretty much smiling not of the fact of witnessing the rape, no, the fact of him mutilating and killing those guys. He felt exhilarated. He felt a rush. Now, if you're thinking Deku's turning into a villain, no, he's kind of into an anti-hero / a little bit of villain to do the good things. This is how this Deku's gonna be. But let's continue on the story. Deku goes home and Inko asks, is he okay, and what was going on in his head. He says, oh, nothing, mother. It's just that I just learned something today. I have a quirk, or I think a power. I don't think it's a quirk, but it's a power I have, and I know I'm getting stronger. And she's asking, how did he get those scars? Was it from the villains? On his pretty much eyes. And he says, no, Mom. It's my power. I know I don't have a quirk, but this power I'm feeling, I know I gotta get stronger and train it. Now, we just say Lucifer had worshippers, and it's the devil worshippers, you're gonna say, one of these new societies and stuff. And as Deku in his room, pretty much reading books of who is the devil and what does he do and what things he can do. And he reads all the old, like, biblical, like, Bibles and stuff, and trying to learn, like, who was he. And he's thinking, am I the reincarnation of the devil, or what am I? This is where the Satan worshippers comes in, and they pretty much comes in and attack Inko. One of them would say, we're going to say these are the Legion from Dead by Daylight. We're going to kind of bring them in because what the hell? This is going to be a crazy one. They kind of come in and stab Zinko in her stomach. Not by fatal wounds, but leaving her bleeding. And she's pretty much screaming. And pretty much saying, my baby. This is where they come in and trying to grab Deku and pretty much worship him as a messiah of, Lucifer's son. This is where he pretty much screams and blows one of them out the window. And he started walking downstairs slowly, smiling, saying, what the hell are y'all doing in my house, hurting my mother I love? This is where they bow down and say, the prince, the son of Lucifer, we've been looking for you. You have finally been born. And pretty much bowing down, and they take out a crown, and they pretty much, or not a crown, but pretty much a halo. And you could say it's Lucifer halo that the worshippers grab before Lucifer ever lost the halo. And they put it on his head saying, the prince of hell, and will become king of heaven. Now Deku is confused as saying, I'm the son of Lucifer, which they're all saying, yes, we've been waiting for you. And we're waiting for you to serve and take any of your orders and do as you will. This is where a girl with mask comes in, and she's pretty much kind of little. Well, same age as Deku, as little Deku, you could say, or a little bit older, tiny bit. This is where she pretty much says, yes, Prince, as anything you want. This is where Deku smiles and says, alright then. But before that, he took the knife and asked who stabbed his mother. The one stepped forward and said, it was me, sir. This is where Deku pretty much slashes his throat and heals him and slashes again. He heals it again and keeps slashing, and he says, 3 times for that of stabbing my mother. That's the pain. Be glad I didn't kill you. And walks up and heals his mother. His mother, Inko, is scared, freaked out of her mind, saying, what the hell are you? But he pretty much says, it's okay, Mom. I get that you are scared and you think I am a devil or some kind of creature. This is where Inko cries and just hugs him and says, it's okay, sweetheart, but just don't do that again and cause harm like that. He says he swears, but he crosses his hand behind his back because he's going to do more of that. Now, we're going to say, before anything else happens, we're going to kind of do him a little bit older, and we're going to say him waking up from the bed and heading to school. Now, this is starting at an anime, but he's getting dressed, and the girl in the bed is, you guessed it, the girl who been worshipping him. Pretty much laying and saying you're off to school, which he says yes. And her name is Alex. And you're thinking, oh, Alex? No, it's Alice. You could say Alice from Wonderland, but she's a different Alice. A psychopath or crazy and stuff that would do anything for Deku, including anything. You just think of it. But pretty much, he goes to school walking, or you could say pretty much flying to school, and he makes it there to school. Now, he walks into class, and some of the girls are, looking at him, and he looks cute, which some of the girls are frightened, but secretly they're not frightened, they just really want to give it their all to him, but Deku, let alone, sits and start opening up his book and reading and smiling, and he gives out this not scary smile, but a gorgeous smile that boys and girls want to have a taste of that action, you could say. Now, Bakugo pretty much comes in and says, well, pretty much it says, "Hey nerd," and pretty much smacks his book down on the desk. Deku looks at him with a smirk and says, "Wow, you really just had to do that there? That wasn't necessary, friend." Which Bakugo says, "I'm not your damn friend, you demon." And this is where Deku says, "You know, it was kind of cute for the last couple of years of you calling me a demon and not being cool, being friends with me. When are you gonna cut the bullshit and just be friends again and be best friends that we was, like we was? I still know your name, Kanshan." Which Deku gives him a smile, and it's a smile of, "I know everything about you. I know your mother. I know your life. I know your father. I know your great family." Pretty much giving him the whole smile of, "I know you. I know you by heart, and I could easily take away everything." Which Bakugo gives a little gulp down his throat and says, "Whatever, nerd," and goes sit down. Deku pretty much goes back reading his book and smiling. This is where the teacher comes in, and Deku can hear the desire of the teacher and pretty much hear him say, "God damn, I just wish I could got these kids to get the fuck out of this school so I can just go home and just spend the rest of my miserable life broke." Now, this is where Deku pretty much smiles and pretty much says, "Hey teacher, can we talk later?" Which the teacher, she's pretty much just nodding down and says, "Yeah, sure." And she pretty much, does a fake smile and says, uh, "I know some of y'all want to be heroes. When I can, you all want to be heroes," throwing up the paper. Which Deku pretty much is saying, "Not me. I kind of just think being a hero is a quite drag. Saving people, kicking bad guys' butt, but not really putting down the justice." Which Bakugo comments him down and says, "Of course you would say that, you devil." Which Deku smiles and says, "You know what? You can really catch me outside." I'm sorry, but let me stop. Pretty much, the teacher, the teacher says, "Hey, enough for both of y'all." This is where Bakugo says whatever and just goes to the bathroom. This is where all the students are leaving because the bell rang in. Deku's pretty much talking to the teacher and says, "You know, I can make your wish come true if you want me to." Now, this is where she says, "What wish would that be?" He pretty much says, "To make you rich, to make you famous. What do you want? What do you desire?" And she kind of says something quite prophetic. She says, "Well, I always wanted to become a sex slave, but a sex slave who has to work for money." And he says, "Ooh, kinky. How about it then? Shake on it." And this is where she says, "How about I do more?" and hops on Deku. And they pretty much do a little bit of a sex time, you could say. And that time. Now, Deku pretty much drops like 200 grand because he can do whatever, because like I said, he has the power. And he pretty much puts it on the teacher. Well, spreading all the money on her, which she pretty much says stinks master while he leaves. Now, this is where Bakugo and his goons are pretty much waiting for Deku. And one of them pretty much is, saying, "Oh, there's the little bitch devil at." And Bakugo says, "Shut your mouth. We're just here to, I'm just here to finish what you started. I'm gonna end you right now, you devil." Now, Deku is pretty much, you could say, smiling, saying, "Oh, really? You're gonna finish me?" And this is where you could say the group of Legion is watching, and they have their knives ready to, you could say, run in, just kill, massacre those kids, just slaughter them, absolutely, just frenzy they shit. But this is where Deku pretty much just lift up his hand and just does the pretty much the no to the Legion, which the Legions are just saying, damn it. This is where Deku says, what he was doing, you freak, and does his explosions. This is where Bakugo does an explosion and pretty much hit him with a massive explosion and pretty much hit Deku. But it only does a scratch on him, and Deku says, so you want to play that game? Alright. And he started walking slowly to Bakugo. And Bakugo throwing big explosions. But it's not doing no damage to him. It only did is just rip off his shirt. And he was shirtless, pretty much walking. And this is where Deku pretty much bitch slaps Bakugo, sending him flying all the way to the tree. And making him cough up blood. And pretty much have a concussion and pass out. And the rest of the boys say, like, you're dead, and pretty much try to attack Deku, but Deku pretty much grabbed both of the boys' arms and pretty much break their arms, pretty much break their arms and make them show their bones showing out of their skin. The boys start pretty much crying and calling out their moms. The last one is pretty much a boy who is a nerd but was forced to come in and jump. You could say Deku. And Deku can notice that this boy is afraid and pissing himself and saying, I didn't mean to, they forced me. And Deku pretty much walk up close to him and pat him on the head and said, I know. You was just doing what the line said. I forgive you. But what you're going to do for me now is pretty much be my servant for this new school I'm about to go to. And it's going to be My Hero Academia. Which the boy said, but I don't even have good grades, and I'm not gonna be able to go there. He says, shh, putting his finger on his lips, saying, it's okay. You're gonna be the best of my servants to be there. And pretty much walks away, holding his book bag on his back. Now, this is where Deku head to the sludgeman part and pretty much walking slowly and whistling. This is where the sludge villain comes in and attack. And when he wraps himself around Deku and pretty much yelling, saying, this body's mine, kid, Deku pretty much smiles and says, can you handle the heat though? And pretty much lights his whole body on fire like a holy light of some sort. And this is where the sludge villain is saying, wait, and turns into ashes and falls. This is where Deku is continuing walking. All Might comes in and says, I am here. All Might. All Might says, have you seen a sludge villain? And this is where Deku smiles and says, I kinda did, but he ended up in ashes, you could say. All Might looks at Deku and says, kid, don't tell me, did you murder him? You could say that. Yeah, I think I did murder him. Oh well. He should not try to attack me. It was self-defense after all. All Might says, trying to give the kid a speech and try to, convince him to not do, murder like that and all that stuff. And, this is where Deku disappears and he looks around and says, wait, where did he go? Damn, I need to really stop him before he turns into a villain. And, this is where All Might, be determined to try to find this kid, Deku, and, trying to train him into a good person, or, give him the speech, the Taco Jutsu, or the Taco All Might, but it's not gonna work. Now, Deku's pretty much walking home, and he sees Bakugo's mom, and she pretty much sees Deku, and she says, oh, hi, Midoriya, where she gives him a wink with the big melons, and Deku says, he did try to kill me. What the hell? And pretty much asks, can he come over while he waits for Bakugo? And she says yes, with a little smile. Now, if you want to know what happened, let's just say he had a bite of that pie, and he had some pie and milk. You could say it did a little bit of a squirt, squirt. Put a little bit of a cinnamon on the pie and the milk. If you don't know what that means ass and titties. I'm basically saying he nutted all over it. But pretty much, Deku pretty much gets up for bed, and she's pretty much coming back onto him and saying, "Just come on, stay on. Like, come lay with me. He won't be back any minute now." And he pretty much says, "Well, you're gonna have to go check him because I think he's in the hospital right now for what I did." And she's pretty much saying, "Oh, did y'all have some fight?" And he pretty much says, "Yeah, I kind of bitch slapped him in the tree. He was trying to kill me." And she said, "Oh, that's bad. I'm gonna have a word with him." And he says, "Nah, don't be. I kind of feel bad because I slept with you, and I think I got you pregnant." And she says, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess it counts." And he says, "Well, I'll be going home now." And she says, "Okay, love you." And he says, "Love you too." Now he's pretty much heading home, and his legions comes out the shadows, and they're saying, pretty much wearing their mask and saying, "Sir, are you okay? Do you want us to kill him and his mother?" Which Deku pretty much bitch slapped the one who said that. It says, "No. First of all, he's my best friend. And second of all, that woman's this half my child, I think." Which the Legion says, "Ah, yes, a little highness. The soon to be highness." Like, which Deku says, "Ah, maybe. Oh well. Well, keep defending my house and watch over it. And also, if y'all do tired, come in the house and come eat with us. I don't want y'all to be out, always just watching me down, and watching the premiere like watchdogs. Y'all humans too." Now, this is where Iko says, "Ah, son, you're home." And which she runs and gives Deku a hug, and he pretty much says, "Love you too, Mom." And yeah, I'm fine. This, and she asks, did he get in trouble or anything happen? He pretty much, can't tell a lie and, been honest and says, "Yeah, Mom, Bakugo was trying to kill me today, throw multiple explosions at me, and try to blow me to pieces, but I had to defend myself and I accidentally bitch slapped him." And, she's a little bit scared of him, but she says, it's okay, son, but next time, just be a little bit not full strength on your best friend," which she knows they're still best friends, but Bakugo don't say it, but they are. And he says, "Yeah, I know." This is where Alex comes downstairs with only a shirt, and she comes in and hugs on Bakugo. Not Bakugo, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I messed that up. But pretty much Deku. And she says, "Hey, babe, you're home." Which, uh, Deku says, "Yeah, I'm home. Uh, shall we all eat?" And I'm gonna say Deku lives in a bigger house. Like, he kind of rearranged the house and made the house bigger. And made, like, two neighbors move out so he can make his property bigger. But he gave the neighbors, like, he took their souls, but he gave them, like, what they want, like to be a scientist or to be the best person they want to be and stuff, all that. Now Deku has pretty much everybody's souls around the whole neighborhood, so he's extremely powerful. Like, he's not powerful, but he's not extremely powerful, but he's powerful. Extremely powerful is going to come later on. But pretty much he sits down and the legions come in and they come sit and they take off their masks because Iko, it's her household, and she pretty much says, if you're gonna come in my house and eat my food, you're gonna take off those damn creepy ass masks and look like a human beings and stuff. Now, all the legions are different. One is like a football player, but he's secretly a part of the group. One is a drug dealer, he he only does good drugs. Because you could say Deku changes him around, and he is evil, but not really evil. You could say like those anti-villains, you could say. But all the legions are all good, but they kill and stuff. They still kill and stuff, but and do whatever they want. But they do good out there, help out the team and all that. Now they're all eating and talking, and one of the legions actually spit out and says, "Hey, sir," and he says, "Please call me Deku or Mizuku." And he said, "Well, Mizuku, why was you over Bakugo's house? Was you was you doing Bakugo's mom? Which Alex spits out her drink and said, "What? Already? Having another wife, I see?" Which Deku says, "No, calm down." Which he says, "Well, I heard a couple moans, and you did was talking about her getting pregnant." We're gonna say this is not the intelligent one. The and he pretty much Deku pretty much get mad and say, "Damn it! Well, you might as well say the whole thing." And he says, "Oh well, would you want me to tell the story?" Which everybody else started laughing, including Deku and Alice too, because like I said, they're a dark worshiping cult. Like the more the merrier, you could say, and the more babies Deku has, so they can worship them too. Now Deku is pretty much laughing with them, and he pretty much heads up to bed, and he's pretty much excited to go to My Hero Academia with Bakugo, and to see his reaction and stuff, just to mess with his best friend, you could say. And Alex comes in and pretty much says, "Well, can I get twins then?" And she takes off pretty much her shirt and shows her whole naked body, and Deku says, "We can try." And she pretty much hops on top of Deku and pretty much want the babies. Now, this is part one of What If Deku Was the Devil. If you like it, comment down below. If you want to see more dark alternate universes of alternate universes of Naruto, Deku, and possibly maybe other characters, depends on which show I watch. Comment down below, and also 20 likes for the next part a couple times later on, and 30 likes if you want I'll make the next video. But I'm Keyshawn Chia. Thanks for watching, and see you later, guys.